So the basic thing is these are not good games. Some of them, actually, no, I take that back. Some of them might be good games, but they're just things about them that you just be. We're gonna see what happens. So
let's the way it's dark for Boris right now.
Yes. This is gone.
This is terrible lighting in this room.
It's the right light for Boris.
Your window slowly got darker.
The light time is the wrong time for this. All right, ladies and germs. What's our first category?
Most disappointing game.
We are not
Boris.
We're not holding back right off the. You fucking leave that there. That's good. That's good. In the year 2000. For anybody who is watching this after the fact on the YouTube, or actually who's listening to this on the SoundCloud, Boris just put in a one spotlight that's making him look very vampiric.
Thunder, light, and lightning.
So close.
Thunder, close, and lightning. Very frightening, lightning. Me, mamma mia.
Very, very frightening me.
No one knows what the words are to that song anyway. It's fine.
Yeah, that's all right.
Manny Petty.
Manny Petty.
Yeah. I don't know how to spell.
All right, most disappointing game. Who wants to go?
Who's going first?
I'll start.
All right, lay into it.
So my runner-up, I think initially was going to win this, but then I realized it was kind of my own fault because all the writing was on the wall that this game was going to blow. But my runner-up would be The Order 1886. Just based on when it was announced, my first thought was, shit, we're getting Nightmare Creatures 3. Hell yeah. Can't wait for this. And then you play it. And it's not Nightmare Creatures 3. It's not even Nightmare Creatures 2. It's just we'll talk more about it later. But my winner, but my winner though, and when I think of, now that I think of most disappointing, when I think of, my expectations and then word of mouth about how good it was and actually sitting down to play it, I'm sorry, it's got to be Arkham Knight. It's Arkham Knight, absolutely. And I say this as a PC player. It barely ran on my rig. When it finally did start running, I played it. The core game itself, I thought, was the least favorite of all my Arkham games. How
was it different?
I thought it was different in as much as that when I play something like Arkham City or even Arkham Origins, I found the side missions to be very interesting. Like, I thought most of them led to a good confrontation with an iconic Batman villain. Side missions in Arkham Knight were like liberate radio towers and like blow up landmines. And
so it was Far Cry.
It felt a little like the Ubisoft open world playbook.
God damn it.
I definitely have to give you that. Like, because there were a couple of interesting side missions, and you got like 3 of each of those. And then you had the uninteresting side missions, and there were 50 of each of them.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, too, in the Arkham games, typically the side missions are my bread and butter. They're what I go for first, especially Arkham City. Side missions were incredible. And then, like, the main narrative itself, I didn't hate it until I got to, there's one particular Batmobile tank battle towards the end, the stealth battle where you have to stealthily take out 6 mega tanks.
Oh God, yeah.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, the stealth missions in general were part of like the annoying shit where you're just like, we're doing this again.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. I think, there's a lot of, and I don't think Arkham Knight is bad. But when I look at the reviews it got and my own personal expectations, and then trying to launch it and, smoke pouring out of my PC. And then not to mention that season pass. Oh my Lord, what were they thinking? $40 for like 4 hours of content? What? Are they out of their goddamn minds? And all they were talking about was, oh man, once Season of Infamy comes out, you guys are going to see. It's going to be totally worth it. You can finish it in an hour and 15 minutes. And like, that's not... God, they suck with DLC so bad. But it's, I just think, again, it goes back to that thing where I don't dislike the game. I'm, as I left the apartment, I currently had it reinstalling because even though I know Season of Infamy is going to disappoint me, I'm going to play it because I still like the core Arkham game loop. but I didn't even like it as much as I liked Arkham Origins. Arkham Origins at least took place at... Yeah, I mean, Arkham Origins at least, I liked the side missions. I liked the sort of, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 assassins all coming for Batman at once. It had a fun sort of a Saturday morning cartoon vibe to it. Now, there are things about Arkham Knight that I actually liked a lot. I mean, Boris, you were saying there's places that game goes that games don't, like it just fucking goes for it. One scene in particular, what scene I'm talking about, kind of had me like, oh my lord. But then it starts backpedaling on that. You know what I mean, man? Like that's my biggest problem with the game. I just think there's just way too much backpedaling, and I just like, holy shit, those side missions, bro. I don't want to like every other Arkham game. I finished all the side missions, and this I just looked at my quest list and I was like, nah, right click, uninstall. That sucks. That really sucks. Still though, if we were doing a number score, I'd still be like, yep, 7.5. You should buy this. But all the other Arkham games to me are like 10s.
It's a solid game, and I haven't even played it yet, and I want to play it. It's just like the shit smog around that game, just like the stink on it for almost like 7 months has just been so vile. I have wanted nothing to do with it.
And that's disappointing because the Arkham games are great.
Because it is a good game. It
is good. It is good. I just wanted fucking stupendous, flawless. Yeah. And I got good. But I won't beat up on it too long. It doesn't deserve that.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I have a few on this list. I'm going to work from the outside in, go from like least disappointing to most disappointing. Star Wars Battlefront. Yes. That's a shame. And it's mostly a shame not because they really didn't make a good game. They just didn't make enough of a good game for me to give a shit about getting in on it. And I'm on some level really glad that I played the beta of that before I bought it, because
same.
Oh boy. People, I think I'm hoping that it happens this year, but if not, seriously hope it happens next year. Developers and publishers want to make more money off their games, and I get it. But not putting out a game that qualifies for the $60 price point first does not mean that you can charge extra for stuff that may come down the road. That is not fucking okay. Stop it. Make a fucking game that at $60 you feel confident putting out, because what you made was a $39.95 budget title that looks like a AAA game. And if that was a decision of someone going through, we don't think we can make enough off this game the way you put this out, if that was the decision on that, fuck you. But what you put out is not a $60 game, and no season pass makes that okay.
Season pass is what? Still $40 or something?
I don't. Who fucking cares?
It's 50.
It's 50.
If I'm not going to put $60 into that game, I'm sure as fuck not going to put another 40 into it. Hotline Miami 2. It's more Hotline. I didn't hate it as much as some people hated it. I still had a good time with it, but I see what people have been saying about that game, and it's not as good as the first one. But it also, I feel like it in the context of what that game is, trying to do more with that felt like a really hard thing to try to accomplish. Metal Gear Solid 5. I don't know. I guess I just was thinking that game was going to be something else up until the last. And playing it just felt like, hello, this is grind game. I want no part of this. Like, I can't play this game in a stealth capacity the way I want to play it until I unlock shit. And you know what? I don't want to play it to that point. And that's why I haven't gone back to it since. And that's fucking unbelievable to me for somebody who has been I'm not the biggest Metal Gear fan, but I've definitely found great moments in what I've played. And from what I played of Metal Gear 5, it just feels like they made an open world game. They didn't make a great open world game, but they made an open world game for me. in my opinion, it's not great, but god damn, that is not what I necessarily. I would be in better shape with that game if I felt like I could play that game the way I wanted to, with or without the upgrades that I wanted. And it feels like, oh, you want to play the game this way? Go run like 20 missions and get your ass kicked before you can actually play the game you want to play. And it's just like, no, I'll go play something else. I'll go play Bloodborne, which I can play now and not get another item and go all the way to the end with. The Order 1886. What the fuck? What the fuck, man? What did you...
Looks
now,
nice.
to be fair, it was a launch... No, it was
meant to be a launch.
It was meant to be a launch
launch,
title,
yeah.
and it ended up being delayed because I think the selling point for that game overtook it actually being a good game.
Mm-hmm.
And what they sold and what they put out is not good. And the stuff that they showed to try to make that game look good was like 20 minutes of that game. I have never, and I will say this about this game for as long as possible, I have never played a shorter E3 demo than the demo I played of Order 1886. It was...
I remember the demo being very good, though.
Because it was the only part of that game that was good.
Oh,
Which part do they have?
It was the part with the thermite gun.
That's the only part. That's the only time you use
part of
it.
the game that even remotely resembles a game.
Yeah, because that's literally when I was playing it. That's the only time I was like, "Oh, this is cool." That's it. Like, and you get such limited ammo for it too.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
But the winner is Evolve.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I know a lot of people were like playing this game at events going like, nah, this is not good. And I was like, no, this is good. It's just this company.
That's because you played the monster.
Well, you're not wrong. But I think more importantly, that was a company determined to make a game that was not finished, bankable on the fact that teams were going to play it and that things were going to form around it and that they would be able to fix it later. Mm-hmm. No, that game was busted when it launched. And everybody was saying, these monsters feel overpowered. The guys who are playing on the other team don't feel like they have enough strength. Things about this game are fundamentally broken, and they sold it anyway. Mm-hmm. And honestly, that game needed 10 monsters and like 15 playable hunters at launch. And it needed
and the
multiple...
hunters needed some better gimmicks for themselves, like some gameplay aspects that just made it engaging on its own. For a team that was very well known for making the Left 4 Dead games, it feels like they forgot what made the Left 4 Dead games fun. And just basically focused on the thing that was the selling point for that game, the asynchronous combat. It's like, did you play your game? This is not fun for the people who are not the monster. It's beyond me. So Evolve takes it for this category.
Boris?
Honestly, this has nothing to do with the game, but rather me experiencing it. I got the Grim Fandango remastered.
Ooh, okay.
And just sitting down with that, I was so excited because I hadn't played Grim Fandango before. I was like, okay, first time through, this is going to be awesome. So I sat down and like 5 minutes into it, I had left an item behind that I apparently needed further on. Spent a whole lot of time that I had just didn't know where in the environment I could go. And then finally figured out where I was supposed to go and didn't have the item. And then realized, oh yeah, games used to be like this.
Yeah, dude. Unwinnable design was totally fine.
Yeah. Well, not only the unwinnable design, but the idea of like designer logic.
Yeah.
Like the solution to the puzzle was simply whatever they figured out at the time. So it's like, I don't know that first of all, this nondescript object that's in the background.
I already know what puzzle you're talking about, by the way.
For which game?
Grim Fandango.
Oh, God,
Grim Fandango, yeah. So, I mean, it's just, I really wanted to just like be excited about it. But as soon as I got to that, I'm like, all right, at this point, there's so much in the backlog that I feel like I would need to sit down with this with a manual to just like blaze through it rather than spend the adequate time that I would have had I played it at the time that it originally came out.
Yeah, and the reviews too. A lot of them seem to be like, yeah, but keep a walkthrough handy. It's a charming game, but man, some of these puzzles are bastards and make no sense whatsoever. You know. So
Yep. I mean, but then you like look at something like The Cave, which came out not too long ago. I think that was like 2013.
Yeah.
That like it keeps those like puzzle elements, but they give you subtle hints. They give you some things that just in case the designer logic faults, that you are able to like get some information.
Yeah.
It's kind of just a reflection of the nature that games have changed and the expectation of the consumer has changed. And I like to go back and say, it's like, oh, the retro stuff. I used to love to do that as at the time. I used to love to figure this stuff out on my own. And there's so much more out now. Like you don't have to dedicate one game to being like all the time that you spend on a single thing.
No. My most disappointing game, and I really wanted this game to be so good. It's funny because I paid for the premium service of it. Battlefield Hardline.
Yeah.
I paid for like the $100 everything.
Yeah, brother.
And I was
Pour one out
so
for that shit show.
disappointed.
Good Lord.
It was, I mean, I'm not saying it was like super bad, but there were just parts of it that I was just like, this is just Battlefield again. And I wanted this to be the Call of Duty kind of real competitor when it comes to it. Cause I'm going to say this and I'll put this on record. I like Call of Duty.
Mm-hmm.
I like playing because it's like a very competitive multiplayer game, first-person shooter. And Battlefront Hardline, I wanted it to be that, but it didn't. It just got another, like, you know, it's just like Battlefield. It's like you have to rely on your team to do stuff. There wasn't a lot of like new additions to the game. Like, yeah, you were a cop. Yeah, you were a robber. It's like, cool. But yeah, you get to drive a cool fast car and lean out of it and try to shoot. Have you tried shooting someone leaning out of a car? It's impossible.
Not recently.
Yeah,
No.
been a while.
How many times have you tried that?
Oh, like several. I come from the Philippines, you know.
All right.
But no, it's I don't know, man. They could have done so much better, and then just the matchmaking isn't great. The whole like servers aren't great. There are never enough people in one match. Maybe I'm not getting matched up correctly, but
No,
it just
not-
always seems like an empty game.
It's not on you. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Didn't do so well. Just stick to Battlefield 4, if any.